Hi guys, welcome to Living Food Wise for another episode of our yummy gluten and dairy free recipes that we're delivering to you. And today we are doing a wonderful chicken dish. We don't often do chicken, so this one's worth keeping in the arsenal for quick and easy dinner recipes. This one's a one pan chicken and veggies, and we're flavoring it with homemade pesto that is also dairy free and some other lovely spices and herbs. It's a really simple, throw it together, put it in the oven, do what you need to do and come back and it's all ready. You've asked for simple dinner recipes, so this one's for you guys. So let's get started on this beautiful chicken dish. But before I do, if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe and the bell below so you don't miss any future recipes. You're sure to love them. Let's get started. We are using some beautiful organic chicken thigh fillets. Now I've chosen the thigh particularly because it gets that lovely golden crispy skin when you bake it, and it also doesn't dry out in the oven. If you leave it in a little bit too long, it's quite forgiving because it's the red meat, whereas the white meat tends to dry out. So we are using, they've got no bones in them, so they'll cook quicker, which will make this dish cook overall much quicker than if you were using it with bone. And I am going to marinate that in a homemade pesto. If you've never made pesto before, super easy. Check out the recipe. We have one made just for you. And I've made this pesto a little bit thinner, so it's like a marinade rather than a thick dip, which will help us coat the chicken. So let's get started with that. I have some gloves, so I don't end up with pesto under my nails. All right, got my gloves on. You don't have to use gloves. If you're okay with doing it barehanded, that's fine. And I'm pouring a generous amount of this pesto. Oh, yummy, smells fabulous. So, little tip for you if you want to save time. If you don't want to make your own pesto, that's completely okay. You can buy a ready-made pesto sauce. I know Rosa's, R-O-Z-A, make a gluten and dairy free pesto. Very handy to have in the fridge. And that's done. Doesn't need much, you're just coating it, that's all. Pop it to the side, and that's our symbol. Now, I have a nice heavy pan. This will help distribute the heat well in the oven, and they're also really easy for cleanup. Little drizzle of oil on the bottom, just to stop anything sticking. And let's assemble our veggies first. Now I'm putting the veggies on the bottom so that our chicken can go on top and it can get the most of the heat in order to crisp the skin. That's really important. And also, if you put your veggies on the bottom, starting with your most fragile veggies, it is less likely to burn from the heat at the top. Just using a bit of broccoli to spread our oil. I'm putting broccoli on the bottom because it can burn easily, and then in with our French beans. Now I've only topped and tailed these. I want them nice and whole so that they don't shrivel too quickly. And I'm just going to scatter them around. This is such a lovely, easy dish. Next, I'm putting in our zucchini. Got a couple of zucchinis and I've cut them quite fat and wide because zucchinis can shrink. They've got a lot of water content. We don't want them to disappear if we cut them too thin. Again, just going to scatter them through. Awesome. What shall I do next? I'll do our red peppers, some red capsicum. I've just got a couple. Now these will give it a lovely sweet taste and they can handle a bit more heat, which is why I'm putting them on top. The great thing about this recipe is if there is any item that I'm putting together that you don't eat, you can just put something else instead. This is giving it almost a kind of Italian flavour, which you know I'm a big fan of. Got some cherry tomatoes, and the cherry tomatoes, when they're baked, they will kind of start to break down and get a real saucy quality, which will be delightful with the pesto. And I am not scrimping on the tomato because they're tasty. All right. Once you've got your veggies in, we want to start putting our seasoning and our herbs and spices in. Again, for ease, I'm using some dried herbs. I have some rosemary. Rosemary is a stronger flavour, so you don't need too much, just a nice generous sprinkle. A little bit of thyme, same. I'm probably putting about a teaspoon of each, just sprinkled around. No, maybe not a tablespoon. And then oregano, which you can be a little bit more generous with because it's a much milder and sweeter taste. A little bit of salt and pepper. Now, I'm going to put this to one side, and this is really important. I've got a whole garlic bulb, and I am going to cut it in half lengthwise, exposing the garlic, but not so that it's falling apart. You can see what I've done here. It does want to fall apart automatically, but I want to keep that whole, and I'm going to wedge that in between our veggies, which will infuse our veggies with that garlicky taste without overwhelming it. So just make some space on two of the ends and slide it in. Awesome. This will smell incredible as it's baking. And then a little bit of oil, here we go, a little bit of oil over the top to coat the vegetables. Now don't go crazy with the oil because the chicken will let out a lot of fat as it's baking. But you also don't want the veggies to be dry. Now, in keeping with our pesto theme, I have some pine nuts that I'm going to just sprinkle it around. You don't have to put these in. You can omit them if you don't like them, or if it's just too much. And finally, our chicken. Now, as you're putting them in, you're predominantly sitting on top, but just give them a little bit of a nudge in between some of those vegetables. Oh, it smells good. I'm just going to drizzle that left over. One final thing, I want to just put a squeeze of fresh lemon over the top, which give it a nice zingy bite and really complement those herbs and the pesto. One half. And that is it. The chicken is ready to be baked. We have our oven set to 180 degrees Celsius, and we're going to pop that in for about 45 to 50 minutes. And that is ready. Our one pan chicken meal after 50 minutes is good to go. Let me just show you what the veggies underneath look like. As you can see, the chicken is beautifully, skin's all nice and crispy. cooked through. And you can see our veggies are beautifully cooked, piping hot, ready to serve. How easy is that? Just throw it all together and less than an hour later, it's ready to go. One pan chicken with veggies. Hope you've enjoyed that recipe. If you have, please send us a little message below. We'd love to hear from you. Hit the like and feel free to share with all your friends and family. We love it when you share our goodies. We will see you next time. Bye. If you are new to our channel,
I gotta call action.
I thought you did. Sorry.
Action.
Is it in the right spot? Feels like it's over here. And stick around for the, no, let's start that one again. I screwed it up. And we will do that one again because I screwed it up. Subscribe and the, but no,